Bill O'Reilly has been killing people for years, from his competition in cable news to President John F. Kennedy and even Jesus. O'Reilly's Killing franchise of books fly off the shelves as bestsellers. His most recent book, Killing Reagan, that violent assault that changed the presidency, well, it's in stores now. I sat down with the host of the O'Reilly Factor in his office to talk all about his newest book. Bill, it's nice to see you, and it's wonderful to be in your office.
Is it wonderful to be in my office?
It is, actually.
You know, it's kind of cluttered, but
well,
19 years.
We cleaned it up a little bit, actually.
Yeah, you actually did. Somebody vacuumed for once.
But I thought since we're talking about your new book, that we should sort of be in a different setting than on the Factor setting. The Factor. Killing Reagan. Why did you kill Reagan?
Fascinating story that I didn't know. Both you and I were around when Reagan was inaugurated and he won the presidency. So many things happened after he was shot that I had no idea. And so I decided, look, he wasn't killed by the bullet, but it did affect him physically and psychologically to an extent that nobody was really aware of. And that's what the book is about, how this assassin's bullet changed the presidency and then ultimately, I think, accelerated his death.
Do you think a lot of Reagan people are going to be unhappy with this book?
Some. Babe Buchanan did an interview with me for C-SPAN, and she didn't like the fact that I dwelled on some of the negatives. Well, like Killing Jesus, there were a lot of people mad at me about Killing Jesus because we wrote about him as a man, not as a god. I didn't do the resurrection, okay? It's the same thing. We write about Ronald Reagan as a man, and every man has flaws. Now, we didn't dwell on him. Overall, he comes across as I think, and the Amazon reviews, the people the folks who read it, they're right in with me. They admire him more that he accomplished so much after he was almost killed, and that he rose up, he summoned something within himself. And the other thing about Reagan is that he wasn't a phony. I mean, most politicians, as you know, they're phony all day long. Not Reagan, all right? And because I have a lot of personal letters in my collection written by Reagan. He stayed true. He stayed true. And that comes through in the book. So overall, if you're looking at Reagan as a human being, you'll love the book. If you're looking at Reagan as some kind of deity, mythological figure, then you might have some problems with it.
All right, this is how many Killing books have you done so far?
This is 5. This is number 5.
Okay, and I asked you before, but you wouldn't tell me who the 6th one is, but there will be a 6th one coming.
We have 3 more to deliver, and the reason we can't say is because when we announce, then other people then write the book. There was actually a book named Killing Jesus that was put out a few weeks before the real Killing Jesus. You know how it is. So we like to keep it secret. We like to keep it a surprise. But we have 3 more. And they're all rollicking the same way. We put you right there in the Oval Office, right there in on the operating room, right there at the ranch. I write what I call investigative history, and there's got to be something in there that folks don't know for me to do it. And we research first, and then the research came back. It was so fascinating to me. I said, well, we got to do this. And we actually leapfrogged Reagan with the other book that we're going to come out next September. We were going to issue this September, but the research was so strong that we said we got to get Reagan out. And plus election year, I think people want to be reminded about a politician who really, really made this country better. There's no doubt about that. He's in the top 10 of all presidents. And how did he do it when he was so grievously hurt? How did he do it?
All right, if this makes it to the big screen, I suspect it will, like your last
one. It's already been signed.
Okay, yep. Who plays Reagan?
We have a couple of people in mind for Reagan. I'll tell you, because you've been so nice to do this interview, I'd like John Hamm to play Reagan. Oh. I think he'd be fabulous in it. Now, I probably blew the deal, but yeah, I think he'd be just terrific. And we have other people in mind as well.
Bill, thank you very much. Right, it's a fascinating read. Killing Reagan. You've killed another one. You killed another person. Anyway, thank you, Bill.
Thanks for having me.